Okay, so we're now on page 6 of Haven, and I'm going to continue the line edit. I don't want them, I want you. So it's Laura speaking. The man, the monster, the scars on your skin and the ones on your heart. So she's saying she doesn't want Marahu's brothers, she wants him. She leaned into his back, holding him closer. For a night to a century, as much as you and fate will give me. So that's a lovely line. That's a nice action tag. It shows where both of them are and what they're doing. He hadn't moved away and he hadn't taken his hand from hers. She brushed her lips down his scarred cheek. He inhaled sharply and squeezed her hand. Okay, good. So he is responding to a kiss. That's great. You've built a good life here, he said. You deserve a baron, not a beat-up old pirate. Okay, so that's a great line. You deserve a baron, not a beat-up old pirate. So he's someone with scruples. Now, I think I would like something here. Something tiny. Because he is responding to her, right? So we could say... He said, in a somewhat breathless voice, something like that. Rebecca will think of something better. We built this. She crept her free hand over his other shoulder and along his collarbone. I'm still an outsider here everywhere except with you. Some of the quivering tension drained out of his body. He's quivering? That's good. Never to me, Laura. She'd spent 37 years watching him, listening to his banter with his brothers, sitting up all night talking with him when he came into port, missing him when he sailed away. Now that's a sentence fragment, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. This is only truly home when he's here. This is only truly home when he's here. It's only... Okay, so only and truly don't seem to belong together. I'm gonna move only to here. This is truly home only when he's here. So Rebecca has decided to use italics because this is in a mono. So when we have internal monologue or in a monologue, we need to change this. So instead of his, I'm going to have her speak to him in her mind. This is truly home only when you're here. I think that works better. Separate these two, put it here only when, so the stress is when he's here. Yeah. She knew the facets he kept hidden from others, how deeply he hated the fear his face kindled in the innocent, and the old sorrows he would not set down. Okay, that's a long sentence. I'm going to put a comma here to give the reader a little pause and just to separate out the two facets. Now, I wasn't expecting this word, but I see why it works. I think it's a good choice. We're talking about the facets of Marahu, the fear and the old sorrows. However, I don't think this works there. I think it needs to be here. Oops. Because this is what's important. She knew how deeply he hated the fear. Now, usually when I delete she knew or she wondered or she thought or she realized, that's because they are often filters, so you want to check when you see these verbs being used. But in this instance, I think it's valid. I think this works here better than here. And because I moved it, I'm going to have to change this as well. There were facets he kept hidden from others. And it can't be a colon anymore. It will have to be a semicolon. Now, a semicolon is used to separate two complete sentences that are closely related to one another. So that's a complete sentence, and that's a complete sentence. And really, the facets we're talking about here is fear and the old sorrows. So a semicolon works. However, if Rebecca prefers to use a colon, then what we can do is just remove all this. There were facets he kept hidden from others, colon, the fear his face kindled in the innocence and the old sorrows he would not set down. I don't like that as much. I think it's better to keep this part, and so we're going to use a semicolon. Okay. You're afraid that what you're out there, what you have to do out there is all you are. I know better. She leaned forward, letting her hair form a silver curtain between them and the night. Another lovely sentence. That's beautiful imagery. I love it. This I don't like so much. I don't think we need this. How about if we don't use that? What you out there, what you have to do out there. Do not define you. Because that's really what she's saying to him, right? What you out there, what you have to do out there, the violence and whatever, they're not all of him, right? They do not define you. I know better. She knows the whole man. So she needs, okay, that's a lovely sentence. So maybe Rebecca won't like this and she'll come up with something better. That's okay. The fragrance of her perfume suffused the air around them, her scent the one he'd chosen for her. He tipped his head back and inhaled deeply, tangling his fingers in the fall of her hair. Another gorgeous sentence. Look at that. He tipped his head back and inhaled deeply, tangling his fingers in the fall of her hair. So much information, and she's painting the picture for you. Isn't that lovely? However, I'm going to change something. I'm going to change this. I'm going to ask for something more specific, like the florals or fruity or whatever, or spices or whatever the scent is. I want the ingredients. Something like the fragrance of, I don't know, gardenia and vanilla suffuse the air around them. A scent. Now here, because we took away perfume, we could use perfume here, or scent will do, either one. The one he'd chosen for her. Maybe this is just me, but I wanted to have more agency rather than letting the reader think that she wore it because he picked it for her. How about saying something like, the one he had chosen for her? Well, I want to think that he chose it because he knew that she liked those ingredients. whatever the florals or the fruit or spices, whatever. So this would be a new sentence. So many beautiful sentences. Look at this. And then right in the next paragraph, you have this. Okay, he couldn't shed his violent nature any more than he could dismiss the scars that marred his face, but she could offer him a haven to let it rest. So this is the title. This is where we get the title. Yes, to let it rest. What's it? Now, rest is implied, so maybe this is implied. Do we need this? But I feel like something should be here, so maybe something else. I'm sure Rebecca will come up with something really beautiful. Maybe expand on Haven, what it means to her, what she hopes that it's going to mean for him. So something else, expand a tiny bit to give us a sense of what Haven means to her and him. Okay, so that's good. There wasn't much for me to do here. Okay, good.